Let's quickly take a look at the demonstration that took place in Accra and Kumasi yesterday. So the Greater Accra Vice Chairman Coalition of Concerned Teachers, before we actually go to the, so let me just take it straight. The air strike on Thursday, the strike that happened on Thursday actually in Accra and Kumasi, was expecting a large number, but unfortunately it turned out that few numbers turned up. And so let's just quickly take a look at how the demonstration went yesterday.
The demonstration, according to them, is to show their determination to get government to release their pension contributions. The workers last month laid down their tools to compel government to transfer their Tier 2 pension funds into a privately managed account. They were, however, forced to call off the strike after government went to court. Negotiations between the workers and government ended in a deadlock, and the two have resorted to the law courts to settle the matter. The union leaders say the demonstration is in line with activities planned to put their message across.
The propaganda by government is that we, the unions, want to collect the pension money and manage it as we run our dues and so on. This is what we are saying. It's not true. We are not going to manage the money. There are schemes that have been set up. There are trustees licensed by, how do you call it, the National Pension Regulatory Authority. They are the ones going to invest these monies and manage them, monitored by the National Pension Regulatory Authority, not the unions that are going to collect the money and manage it. This is what we are saying, that the propaganda there is what workers must watch. Yeah.
All right, so I have been joined in studio by the Greater Accra Vice Chairman Coalition of Concerned Teachers, Adokwe Ayikwe Awule, and so we'll be talking to him about the budget. But before we go to the budget, that's 2015, and the strike on Thursday, Labour had some 100,000 workers who stormed streets in Accra and Kumasi, but what we saw was low. Actually, that's just what I played to you. Does that mean Labour does not support what they are all fighting for? So let me quickly get to him. Hello, Mr. Awule. Welcome to News Desk.
Thank you very much, and good morning.
Good morning. So does that mean you don't support, Labour does not support what you are fighting for?
Labour really supports whatever is going on 100%. But what happened at the strike, actually, it wasn't about the numbers or the demonstration. We just wanted to send a signal. And we have a series of activities that will take place. And this is just the beginning of more wonderful things that we are going to see.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
I see. So you think that the numbers didn't really matter, and that your whatever you wanted to communicate across has been communicated?
It is just about the message. And then we have communicated our message to government, and we know they've listened to us, and we'll still continue. We'll use other avenues to get to government as well. So this is just the beginning.
You do a lot of demonstrations on the street. How much results have you received?
How much results? We have not been doing a lot of demonstrations. How many labor unions have you seen demonstrating on the streets? Recently, I think this is the beginning. This is the first kind of demonstration that 12 labor unions have come together to do such a demonstration. And if we really want to do a proper demonstration, I'm telling you, if we should bring the over 200,000 workers in this forum onto the street, I don't think the police can handle it.
But your leadership were not present during the demonstration.
They were present.
Our cameras were there, and we had representatives, but not the leadership of
We have representatives. We have Nagrat rep was there, TWU president was there.
Why were reps sent instead of the leadership themselves leading the
They are our leaders. Coalition of Concerned Teachers president was there, his vice was there, the organizer was there, I'm the regional vice chair, I was also there, my regional chairman was there. But they were in the front and we were at the back.
Okay.
So we were all there, actually.
All right, so now let's go to the 2015 budget. And government says let me just quote, I will continue to carry out the effective redeployment of teachers and train more teachers in line with new reforms in the sector. Teachers have had problems with the redeployment, that is the transfer grants for not paid. And what do you make of this announcement?
No, they are saying that effective redeployment, but let us ask ourselves if what they did was very effective. It's not been effective.
How non-effective was that?
You've not given me my transfer grant. So you could say that the labor unions came together and we issued a statement that no teacher should move.
Okay, let me just take it from the layman who is watching us. That's a bit technical for that person. What is a transfer grant? Transfer
grant. Now, if you are transferred from, let's say, Greater Accra to the Brown and Harford region, there's the need for you to be given a grant of 3 months' salary.
Okay.
Because you'll be moving with your family and everything. So it is just a grant, they give it to you.
But that is not your salary.
That is not your salary.
It's kind of an allowance.
An allowance to cater for all those expenses that you'll be making.
Okay.
Because you go there, maybe you have to get a new accommodation, your family, you have to settle down. So definitely because you are moving from one region to the other, this grant must be given to you.
Okay.
That is what the transfer grant is about.
What has actually been the problem with it? Is it that they want to cancel it, or it's been difficulties, so it will
no,
pay,
when
but
we
it's
speak to
not
the ministry, they said Ghana Education Service is in charge of that one, and they are supposed to give you that one. And Ghana Education Service is also saying that the money is not the Ministry of Finance.
They admit they are in charge, but the money hasn't been released.
But they have not received money from the Ministry of Finance, so they've not been able to issue transfer grants.
Okay.
So the minister should be up and doing. He should make sure that those who have been transferred have received their grants. And then if you want to make...
You're talking about the Minister of
Education. The Minister of Finance. He should release the funds. Yes.
Okay.
Because we hear that in the 2013 budget, that was, let me say, 2014 budget, only 20% of the budgetary allocation to the ministry have been released.
I see.
So how can they effectively manage all these things? Definitely it will be difficult.
But don't you also think that your managers should rather be the ones getting this in order, rather than you now going, leaving them out and crossing to the Ministry of Finance?
Now here is a manager who have been appointed by government. It is very difficult for him to come out and say that, hey, government, release the money so that I
he should be the one getting all this pressure and not the Ministry of Finance.
If we give him the pressure, he will just be there. There is nothing that he can do. He has been appointed by government. He is working on behalf of the government, just that he is implementing the policies. Government brings about the policies. So he is supposed to receive the wherewithal from the government and then implement the policies. And the money is not coming. So we have to go to the government and say, hey, please, release the money so that all these things can go. And there are a lot of things that are happening in the educational sector that are not good at all. They are talking about training more teachers. I can tell you we have over 5,000 teachers well trained. They are in the country and they don't have schools to teach.
Really?
I'm telling you.
Is it that they don't have their preferred schools to teach in, or there are no schools?
It is no more a matter of preference.
Okay.
Because we know that the cities are already choked. Some of us are even being transferred to the rural areas to go and teach.
But you go to some of the rural areas and they don't have teachers.
They don't have teachers, but we have teachers. We have trained teachers.
So how come
go to Winneba and go and look at the number of teachers that come out of Winneba, University of Cape Coast, those doing the play. Every year, go and look.
In the case where you transfer to one particular area and everybody doesn't want there, so they all go back and try to pay their way through to a preferred school. Obviously, one school will be choked, one school will be vacant.
Yes.
Is that not what is happening?
But I am telling you, there are teachers there now. They don't care about where they will be posted to.
So how come they're not being
posted? Because
posted?
some of us, you know, the cities were choked. Some of them have been transferred. They've gone.
So those you're talking about who are not teaching at all, but they are trained teachers, what is happening with them? How come they are not in any school?
They are in the system. You could see that at the beginning of this academic year, the Director General, the Acting Director, issued a statement that they are going to do away with pupil teachers and replace them with trained teachers who have come out of the universities, the private colleges of education, and they are all in the system. They are still there, but it is like government is having a problem with that. Government is having a problem that they've not been able to implement this thing fully. So the teachers are still hanging. They are still there. Some of them want to sacrifice to go to the villages to go and offer their services. Are they being paid?
As they are there not teaching at all? Are they not getting their salaries?
But they've been trained and they are there. They are not being paid. Government is more interested in hiring pupil teachers.
I see.
Because
why is that?
Because it's like it's cheaper.
Okay.
You just give them something
and
like
that. There's no commitment there.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
Okay.
But some of them, I can tell you, there are some pupil teachers who are BEC graduates.
I see. That's perfect.
Yes.
Because they themselves need to have a lot more to learn.
But you see, government will not allow the managers, the implementers of those policies to implement them very well. And that is a problem that we are having in the educational sector now. I
see. A lot of problem there. But government says it's progressive free senior high schools set to start in 2015. What will be the role of teachers in that regard? And have you been adequately consulted on your role?
We have not been consulted. No, we even have FQ, Free Compulsory Universal Basic Education. But let us ask ourselves, is basic education really free? No, it is not absolutely free. Capitation grant, I can tell you that in the last academic year, it is now that government has released the first and second term of the capitation grant for last academic year.
Wow.
Now, where are we going to get money to even buy registers, SBAs, chalk, and all those things?
Chalk is still a problem.
It's a problem. This time, they've not provided chalk.
So how have you been writing?
I use marker now. I buy my own marker. I buy my own marker from my salary.
And write on the board.
And write on the board.
Which board?
The filmmaker board.
But you can't use chalk to write on the filmmaker board.
No, but I'm saying that even we have to use chalk, they've not provided a chalk.
No, let me understand that. You buy your own marker. It means that now you have filmmaker boards in the classrooms. And so, do you need chalk or you need markers?
No. There's this policy that Ghana Education Service is not giving out for the markers.
Okay. Because it's expensive?
We don't know. They still give out chalk.
Okay.
So we said no. But with the help of the PTN from our internet generated fund, we were able to come up with the filmmaker board. Okay. So we are supposed to buy our own markers. So we were even planning that if they should bring the chalk, we can give it to a school or maybe a private school that needs the chalk, and we could buy our money. We could take the money and buy our own market. But I'm telling you, the chalk is even not coming.
You give it as in you sell to that private school, or you give it out as charity?
We will not give it out as charity, because where are we going to get the money to buy them?
No, so don't say you give it to a private school. So you tell me you sell to
a
school
that we can sell it. But I'm telling you, the chalk is even not coming. Notebooks are not coming. Textbooks are not coming. They'll tell you they are providing free exercise books. But I can tell you, within the whole academic year, each child will get 4 Note 1 exercise books. And government will say they provided. So even the basic education is not free. How much more the senior secondary school or the senior high school level?
So you don't think that is feasible?
Well, maybe because of politics to find ways and means of achieving that. But definitely, if you don't plan well and you start doing something, you fail in that aspect. And that is why we're having a lot of problem in the basic education sector.
So would you say government has failed with the free F-cube?
In fact, things are not going on well. There's a lot that government ought to do. There's a lot.
So moving on, what are teachers planning to do?
Now, to me, they should make sure that the F-cube is really F-cube.
For F-cube to be really F-cube, can you just take us through quickly?
Free, compulsory, universal basic education. So now, which means everything that goes into the education of
a free basic education.
It should be absolutely free.
Uniforms, books, infrastructure, teacher,
everything should be free.
Okay.
But now they pay for us to even set questions, to print, and
the
then
students pay themselves.
They have to pay for those examinations.
Meanwhile, it's supposed to be free.
They buy their own exercise books. They buy their own uniform. Government is providing some uniform for in the rural areas, but now they still buy it. But it should be absolutely free for all pupils.
Feeding, at least, and
free feeding, yes, but 50 pesos. Will you give your daughter or your son 50 pesos? To buy food?
That's a difficult question. It depends on what you're giving that child with the 50 pesos.
What will you buy with 50 pesos?
Collectively, you can do something, but individually, that is difficult.
Collectively,
but of course,
50 pesos, even if they are
nothing to write home about.
It's nothing to write home about. They will receive just a ladle of rice with oil, hardly before they even put in fish. Because you cannot afford to buy the fish. Even the caterers are not receiving the money that
even the 50 pesos was coming consistently. You could do something. You could do something about it.
But it is not even coming. So they have to go for loans, buy the food, give it out. 50.
So
Things are really not working.
Yes.
You see, they have to streamline certain things. It's like we rush in doing certain things. Make sure the first aspect is completely okay before you move on to the other one. But if basic education is not completely free, and now you said I'm feeding them. If you feed a child with one ladle of rice, the child is not having book to write. And I mean, everything is...
So beyond the challenges and the difficulties, beyond strike, beyond demonstration, what else can really pull government to check?
You see, they should show that commitment. And all Ghanaians should also wake up. Our parliamentarians should also wake up. It is not a matter of you are in the ruling government side or you are in the opposition. If certain things are not going on well, we should be able to come out and say that this is it. And we should have policies that should not change no matter the government in power. We should have educational policies that will never change no matter the government in power.
Do you sometimes feel the leadership of education has somehow failed?
They have failed because usually they don't consult the grassroots. When they are about to bring about new policies, they leave the teachers out. They tell you, we met some reps of the teachers. If you have met my rep, let's say either CCT or NAT, and you've met just a rep of NAT, the total number of teachers are over 220,000.
Yeah.
And you've met just a rep. You've got to go to the grassroots. Look at the problems that are there before you bring about those policies and implement them.
Beating a rep, the rep is actually representing all ideas, a collective idea. So it means that rep should have even consulted with the other members.
But it's very difficult to consult with all. Now the rep is just one.
Sure.
And look at the number of government appointees or maybe on that board. Whatever he is going to say will not even have any effect.
At the end of the day, always looking at what is beneficial.
Yes. So you could see that they wanted to make SHS 4 years. Others said we will also make it 3 years. Now they've changed it. Does it mean when NPP comes, they also make it 4 years again? Because that is what they are also going to do. So the implementers, who are the teachers on the ground, are always there, and it's like, let's wait. Whatever come our way, we will just go by it. Okay. But we are the implementers of the policies. So you should seek our view. But we are in a country, we are always changing our policies from Jobo Committee, then it came to Anamwa Mensa Committee. Then, I mean, this is very bad.
Some weeks ago, government asked the people teachers it has hired to go home because there was no money to pay them. And now government again wants to hire more train more teachers. Is that advisable? Why does government have to even maintain the people teachers? It's even cheaper for them.
Yes, it's cheaper. But I'm telling you, we have teachers who have still not replaced the pupil teachers. That is what they were supposed to implement. So
ideally, when the pupil teachers were asked to go because there was no money to pay them, the trained teachers should have been put there. Which money will be used to pay them?
But now I think they are being paid.
Okay.
As we speak now, they are being paid.
The pupil teachers?
Yeah, they are being paid. I have heard that they are receiving their salaries now. You see, but government want to train more teachers, and that is where I have a problem. Because there are teachers who don't have schools to teach. They are there, they are idle.
So indirectly, there are unemployed teachers.
There are unemployed teachers in the system.
Okay.
So put them into the system, let them start teaching. Then you will get to know that this is the number of teachers that we need. And then you will go ahead and train more teachers. Okay. That is what we want now. So that you train more teachers to fill the various vacancies. But it is like government, you see, government is somehow trying to hide something from us.
Okay.
And
that truth is being told.
There are teachers in the system.
Okay.
But it is like government don't want to come out and say that if I should put all of them in the classrooms, I wouldn't be able to pay them. Because you could see that it is not only our transfer grant that is at stake now.
So you are a teacher, so you know what's actually happening.
I know what is happening
on the ground. So as government is saying, I am going to train more teachers, what language do you think government is speaking?
No, government is actually not telling us the truth. It's not trying to be open. Because those who even came in 2 years ago, those who went for further training, those who came from Winneba and Co, and they were put on the Ghana Education Service line and they were posted to various schools. They stayed in the system for 2 years. At the end of the day, they were given only 3 months salary arrears, and we are still fighting for the back pay as at now.
See.
So you could say that government is even not ready
to train the teachers,
to employ more teachers into the Ghana education service sector.
The cancelling of the teacher trainee allowance, has it had any effect, tolling effect on the training of teachers or any kind
I can tell you it is now more costly to go to the College of Education than going to the university.
I see.
Why should it be so?
I see.
Go there and go and ask of the fees that they are paying. Government says they are going to feed them. The feeding grant is even nothing. But the amount of fees that they are paying.
Let's play it back in your day as a trainee teacher.
Yeah.
You had your alawa. That's how you were calling it, alawa.
Yes.
So did you pay fees?
We never paid fees.
Sure, but you had the training. And
we had the training. We were being fed. At the end of the day, we go to our so-called powerhouse to go and receive our alawa.
Yes.
And we are using that to buy books. Before you even come out of the training college, you bought.
You set yourself up a bit ready for the profession and ready for life.
Wherever you'll be posted to, in those days, wherever you'll be posted to, you'll even be given your transportation.
Yes, I remember that.
They'll give you transportation.
I'm not a teacher, but at least I remember
they'll pay,
teachers talked about that. Yes.
And then you go there, and then you start teaching.
But even in those days, some of you did still not want to go to the rural and remote areas.
Now, you see, there is the need for you to motivate the teacher before the teacher will go to that rural areas. When the single spine salary structure was implemented, there is this category 2 and 3 allowance. And they said those who will be posted to the rural areas will have 20% of their basic salary as bonuses to encourage them to go to those rural areas. Now, here I am posted to a rural area. Hardly before, you will not even get a vehicle to that village. You only have to go there on a market day.
On a particular day.
Before you get a vehicle to that village. You go there, there's no electricity. You are given an Atakpami house to stay in. Even the school structure, the structure alone of the school is even not good. Maybe under a tree or maybe a shed. And the teacher is supposed to stay there to teach.
So today,
even mobile phone, you cannot even make calls because there's no reception. So there is the need for you to motivate that teacher.
Okay.
He knows he is getting something extra. So at the end of the day, they should also make sure that the structures are there. It shouldn't be only the school block. They should put up, I think, bungalows for teachers as well. And then they'll be encouraged to go there. If I put up bungalows, even if I don't have electricity, and I know I'll be able to store some water from rain, and
so
I have a bungalow,
I'll go there. You are asking for infrastructure, you're asking for the facilities in place, in addition to the 20% allowance they would add.
Of course, to motivate that person to go there.
Are you being given at all in the first place?
It has not been implemented as we speak now.
So aren't you asking for too much? The 20% promise is not even coming, so now you're asking for bungalows.
But giving a teacher bungalow is not too much.
It's not too much, but what I am saying is, let's look at it from this way. What has been promised, and it's actually on paper, it's your entitlement, it's not even being released. How are you getting that?
That is what we are fighting for as we speak now. But let's talk about the accommodation. Even if you are in Accra, you know when it comes to the educational setting, a teacher is supposed to be in the community where the school is.
Exactly.
So that you have that relationship with them.
Yes.
But it is like we have ignored that aspect. So there is a need for them to even provide accommodation for teachers. So it is not just about the rural area. So if in the urban areas you are not able to provide them with such accommodation, what about the rural areas?
Isn't it your leadership who is not ensuring all these are actually done, and not necessarily the government?
We have spoken about these things severally. Our leadership have spoken about these things. We've spoken to Ghana Education Service. I'm telling you, for 3 years, from 2010, after the implementation of the single spine salary, there are a lot of things that we have not received now. Teachers have not received their incremental credits. Back pay have not come. Transfer grants have not come. We've gone on strike severally from 2011, 2012, 2013. Even this year, May, we went on strike because of
We've lost count of the number of times teachers have
but
been on
nobody is ready to listen to us. It is like nobody is ready to even talk
That is why I keep questioning your leadership. Don't you think that as you all agree on a cause, your leadership are pacified in a way and they keep quiet?
They are not pacified. I'm one of them. We are never pacified. I'm telling you, if that would be the case, then some of us will not even dedicate ourselves to even fight for the cause of teachers.
Okay.
Nothing is coming. We are still trying. We call... You tell them to go on strike, but Ghanaians, you know them. oh, we beg you, please go back to the classrooms, your problem will be solved. Then we come up with an MOU.
But you're also a Ghanaian, so if you say Ghanaians, you know them.
But we are also we are also pathetic. We know we have to teach our words, because they are also our children. In fact, they spend more time with us than even their parents. So sometimes we also sympathize with them, and then we go back. But at the end of the day, you are not receiving what you are supposed to receive. You are not being motivated enough to even give of your best. And that is one thing that is also affecting the educational sector, because you can force a teacher to teach, and the teacher will pretend he is teaching.
Exactly.
That is, he will pretend he is teaching, and you come and you realize that he has taught.
Would you say that is also accounting to the poor performance of our students?
That is it.
These days
that is it.
In BC,
because if the teacher is not happy, he is not happy about whatever is going on. But at the same time, he ought to go to the classroom to go and deliver. Definitely, it will affect the children.
But don't you think that children also on their part are not learning how well enough these days in the advent of technology, the use of mobile phones, applications and all?
You see, they are saying that if I should bring it onto a language, somebody said a learner of a language can only learn to do so if he is taught by a teacher.
Okay.
But in the same way, the parents also have to play their part. We don't want to place the blame absolutely on teachers alone.
Okay.
The parents also ought to do their part. But the teacher, I'm telling you, if you motivate the teacher very well, no matter the level of that child, the teacher can bring up that child in a perfect manner. All right.
So simply put, teachers, all you want is that your allowances should be released. There should be infrastructure in place to aid education.
Yes.
Whatever is being put on paper as your entitlements should come as agreed on.
Yes.
If your government is playing Tom and Jerry with you.
Yeah.
That is
exactly what they are doing, and they started doing it after the implementation of the single-sman salary structure.
Okay, so I'm sure you'd like to tell government to stop playing Tom and Jerry with teachers.
Of course, we've heard them, but I will plead with government to do well, to motivate the ordinary teacher. They should pay our transfer grants. Our incremental credit should also be paid. And teachers will also give up their best. We are not happy that we are always
lamenting. So which of your allowances, apart from the transfer grant?
Incremental credits have not been paid.
Okay.
And even this year, for 2011, 2012, they paid 2013. They've not paid 2011 and 2012. And 2014, September is gone, they've not paid.
I see.
And we are still waiting.
We wish you all the best in your fight and push to get your entitlements.
Thank you very much.
We are all Ghanaians, we pray that...
And we also dedicate ourselves and do more.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we hope that as they are prepared, poised to get more dedicated and give us their best as Ghanaians and as government to represent all our interests, would also seek to give them what they ask for, what's their entitlement, so we all live in a very harmonious country. So we have been talking to Adokwe Ayikwe Awule, Greater Accra Vice Chairman, Coalition of Concerned Teachers. Let's catch a breather here, and when we come back, we have a lot more coming your way. Stay with us.